And now, the general weather around Alaska.
There's a blizzard warning out for tonight and tomorrow for the entire stretch of the Arctic coast here. It extends all the way down to Cape Lisburne, Point Hope, and that's for winds out of the east-northeast gusting to 55 miles per hour with maybe a couple inches of snow falling, and blowing snow will create low visibilities to whiteout conditions all along the coast again for tonight and tomorrow night, or for tonight through tomorrow. And there's a winter storm warning out for the lower Yukon River Valley area, as well as the Delta and St. Lawrence Island for heavy snow and blowing snow, with winds gusting anywhere from 45 to 55 miles per hour, creating blowing snow in those areas for tonight through tomorrow, in some cases even tomorrow night. And moving on to satellite imagery, you can see a system moving northward here. Earlier on, down around Kodiak Island, but the center pulling northward there. And another one back out here over the northern Bering Sea. A lot of moisture flowing from south to north here, keeping the mild conditions in with southeast winds, keeping it well into the 40s over south central Alaska today, and even up into the Tanana Valley as well, especially in the windier areas there. Lighter wind areas seeing much cooler temperatures, but dry for the most part over the Panhandle. Some clearing down to the south, sunshine there, extending all the way down to the Queen Charlotte's, western British Columbia. This low pressure area pulling northward, again keeping the front to the west. So south central Alaska seeing those southeast winds gusting anywhere from 35 to 55 miles an hour in areas here, with areas of rain or rain and snow mixed. Then you can see the rain shadow there, or the lee side of the Alaska Range there, kind of breaking the clouds up as they move from south to north. And another trough back out through here, bringing some snow showers into the lower Yukon River area, actually from eastern Norton Sound right on down into Bristol Bay, but pretty light precipitation with that. Next front pushing eastward here, strong southwest flow, west-southwesterly flow behind that, bringing gusty winds, snow showers into Shimia in the colder air, and that pushing this band fairly rapidly to the east there across the southern Bering Sea and into the central Aleutians today. On the chart, here's this low that is tracking northward throughout the day. Now, late afternoon today, into the northern Kuskokwim Valley there. The front roughly extending southeastward here across southern Cook Inlet, east of Kodiak Island now for lighter winds there and more showery conditions. A break back here along the southwest coast and over the eastern Bering Sea. Snow showers up around St. Lawrence Island, the main low center there. Then that next system pushing eastward here in the cold front. Snowfall levels back down to sea level behind that front, while milder air here moving into Adak and Atka, and increasing snow to the east of that system, but still west of the Pribilof Islands, starting to push in toward the Nikolsky area. That probably won't happen until this evening. Otherwise, continued south to north flow here, keeping it wet along the North Gulf Coast and mild. Some of that moisture getting into the extreme northern Panhandle, but high pressure here over British Columbia, keeping it pretty nice with, again, some clearing and sunshine, central and southern Panhandle there, with light wind conditions, strong northeast winds here along the western Arctic coast, and very windy conditions the entire length of the coastline there. And again, those blizzard conditions will continue through tonight as more moisture moves in. Look for anywhere from 1 to 2 inches of snow over the North Slope and the Arctic coast, and that'll just add more to the blowing snow, creating whiteout conditions there, especially along the coastline, to a lesser extent due to lighter winds over the North Slope, and then areas of snow along this front. As it pushes eastward here, it'll get a little cooler, but not too much. So look for rain and snow mixed here for south central Alaska. Farther up the Susitna Valley and toward McKinley Park, that'll be mostly in the form of light snow with that system. Most of the moisture will be restricted over the mountains of the southern Copper River Basin, with dry conditions on up to the north through the eastern interior. And rain for the North Gulf Coast, or mixed rain and snow. Again, some of that getting into the extreme northern Panhandle and Canal Glacier Bay area. Mostly Haines, staying north of Juneau, fair to the south with some clearing, continuing, and light winds. And then this break over the eastern Bering Sea today shifts eastward and comes into the Kuskokwim Valley, western Tanana Valley areas down across Kodiak with drier conditions and some clearing. And then increasing wind and snow and blowing snow here as this system pushes in toward or across eastern Bering Sea. They're first seeing it hit Nunivak Island, then along the coast later tonight. Light snow up toward Nunivak Island. This low weakening, continuing to pull to the north. And again, areas of snow over the north slope up to the Arctic coast. Lots of gusty winds and snow showers over the Aleutians and the Bering Sea. And that intense low tomorrow brings good storm force winds into the western Aleutian areas there, anywhere from 50 to 55 knots, with snow and blowing snow probably, and snow showers eastward here all the way up to the Alaska Peninsula. And again, behind this front, snowfall levels fall back to sea level, and so snow over the southwest interior, more showery and lighter behind the front, more snow and blowing snow to the north of the front and to the northeast there into the mid-Yukon River Valley. And conditions, winds might start lightening up in the afternoon for the Arctic coast there, as well as the North Slope areas. As this low tracks eastward, areas of snow and snow showers on the light side over the, will track eastward with it, with a trough keeping some showers in over the North Gulf Coast and the northern panhandle, but high pressure here, keeping it dry and partly to mostly sunny for the central and southern areas. And look, as this front pushes eastward, look for the winds to increase once again tomorrow and tomorrow afternoon. Rain and wind, Kodiak Island, and another windy, mild day for south central Alaska. And then for the next day, winds much lighter, cooler air comes in. Look for some snow Thursday night across south central Alaska, lifting northward and northeastward throughout the day, becoming more showery but persisting over northern Cook Inlet into the Manuska and Susitna Valley throughout the entire day up into the mid-Tanana Valley areas, starting to dry out over the southern Kenai Peninsula. Some showers. Kodiak Island will be on the decrease as that trough pulls off to the east. And this trough rotating into the southwest coast will bring another round of gusty winds and snow with it. But there'll be a break over the Yukon Delta area into the lower Yukon Valley, and some light snow on the Arctic coast. Light snow up here over the Chukchi Sea will spread into the Seward Peninsula and along the northwest coast. Kotzebue on up toward Point Hope. And again, lighter winds now over the Bering Sea as this low center weakens, but still a lot of snow shower activity out there beginning to taper off from, call it Amchitka westward to the Komodorskis. And now finally a better chance of some rain into the Panhandle, or rain and snow in the north, but staying dry to the south. Lows for tonight across the southeast coast here in the 30s, warmest over the southern areas there, upper 30s. And in the 30s here, south central Alaska, all the way down to Kodiak Island, 20s for Bristol Bay, teens in the central interior, and anywhere from 0 to 10 above here south of the Brooks Range. Milder teens back to the west, and then below 0 for the North Slope and Arctic coast, anywhere from 0 to 15 below. 20s for the Pribilofs, about 10 for St. Lawrence Island, and in the 20s for the Aleutians. Highs for Wednesday afternoon, well into the 40s over the southern southeast coast, and looks like upper 30s again in the Copper River Basin, and in the 30s to near 40 south central Alaska down to Kodiak. Same thing for the Alaska Peninsula, and lower 30s now for Adak and Atka, and right around freezing for the Pribilofs. Otherwise, 0 or 5 below to 5 above for the North Slope and the Arctic coast. Otherwise, 20s and 30s, pretty mild, especially over the mid and upper Tanana Valley areas. And then for the lows on Thursday morning, 0 to 5, Yukon Flats of the Brooks Range, and 5 to 10 below for the Arctic coast. Upper 30s for the Panhandle to near 40 in some areas, mid-30s Kodiak Island, staying above freezing, lower to mid-30s for south central Alaska, 20s for Bristol Bay, on out to the Bering Sea. That'll be followed by highs out here over the Bering Sea, mostly in the 30s here, including the Alaska Peninsula, lower 20s St. Lawrence Island, and again highs in the 20s to mid-30s over the Tanana Valley, and 35 to 40 for south central Alaska, well into the 40s for the southeast coast.